this week's hashtag Finance Friday, and we've been talking all about fear of failure because it's such a big topic, right? And you may not hear about every single person in the world that has ever experienced some form of failure, but it's going to look different for each person that has experienced it. Rejection, bad results, being held back, these are but a few ways for us to fail in life, right? But if we have all experienced failure, then why are they successful people, right? Is it because everything just seems to work out for them? Maybe it seems like it, but the main problem is that our failures are just something that we don't actually like talking about. Now, as human beings, we don't want to tell people about all the times that we fall short. So maybe successful people are the same, right? It may not be widely known, but some of the most successful people in the world have experienced significant failures. So I'm going to list and chat about 12 different people who have gone through failure in order to become successful. So firstly, Walt Disney. Now, we all know Walt Disney and the worlds of imagination, fairy tales, and adventure that he has created. He grew to be known for his animation and storytelling talents, and even has theme parks that capture the essence of his movies and ideas. But before he started his Disney animations, he was rejected numerous times by the Kansas City newspaper. The newspaper editor told Walt that he lacked imagination and had no good ideas. I mean, fall off your chair when you hear that in comparison to where he is now, right? He went on to start an animation business that went bankrupt called Laugh-O-Gram Studio. And while filming Snow White, he also went through the experience of possible bankruptcy and had to get a loan to help with the funding. But despite these challenges, the Walt Disney Company has a net worth now of over 201.55 billion US dollars. He went on to be nominated for 59 Academy Awards and is the greatest animator of our time. Number 2, J.K. Rowling. Now, J.K. Rowling was an unemployed single mother living off of welfare. Her first manuscript for Harry Potter was actually rejected a total of 12 times. That's a lot of times. It was Bloomsbury who eventually decided to publish it with a small advance of £1,500. Her books created a whole different world for readers to escape to, which was then later developed into movies. The Harry Potter series has led J.K. Rowling to become a billionaire, and its popularity is still active today. Number 3, Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs was fired from Apple Computers. Yes, he was asked to resign from his own company that he founded. The CEO didn't see Jobs in the tech company's future plans. It took almost 12 years for him to go back and find a place within the company again. His business insight, marketing talents, and his brain for innovation and a persevering attitude, which only grew within these years, is what helped Apple to develop into what it is today. Number 4, Steven Spielberg. He dropped out of school. He was rejected a few times by film schools, one being the University of Southern California's film school. And some of his first films were not successful. But today he has won 3 Academy Awards, his films have won 32 Oscars, and he is the highest grossing director in the world. Like, can you even imagine? Number 5, Henry Ford. 2 of his automotive ventures failed due to funding being taken away because of Henry Ford's slow progress in his automobile design and expectations that he simply was not happy with. Later, he was funded by someone else who then gave him full control over production, which marked the start of Henry Ford's success. Number 6, Theodor Seuss Geisel. Geisel, I don't know how to pronounce it, aka Dr. Seuss. That's how we all know him. His first book got rejected by 27 different publishers. His books that weren't good enough for these publishers went on to sell more than 600 million copies worldwide. Number 7, Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan, the famous basketball player, was cut from his high school basketball team because of his height, and his coach felt that he lacked skill. This only motivated him to work harder and become the famous basketball player he is today. He goes on to say this: "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and failed. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." He has won 6 NBA championships and 5 NBA MVP awards. Most valuable player, for those of you that don't know. Number 8, Warren Buffett. One of the richest and most successful businessmen ever, was rejected by Harvard. Along with countless failed investments and losses, he is no stranger to failure, but he owns it and he continues to move forward from them. Buffett runs Berkshire Hathaway, which owns more than 60 companies and is known as one of the most successful investors of all time. Number 9, Vincent Van Gogh, or Van Gogh if you're English, suffered from mental illness and died by suicide. His internal struggles and desire for people, a home, and a purpose is what fed into his artworks. He only sold one painting in his lifetime, which led to his career being considered a failure too. He is now a well-known artist with artworks hanging in museums all over the world worth over $100 million. Number 10, and we're almost at the end, Colonel Sanders. 1,009 people rejected him and his chicken recipe that he pitched to various restaurants when he was 62 years old. He eventually found a break with a restaurant outside of Utah, which became known as the first KFC and tripled sales in a year because of his chicken. Today, there are KFC franchises all over the world providing finger-licking good chicken to many, right? And then number 11, and I don't have enough fingers for number 11, is Albert Einstein. Although being synonymous with intelligence, Albert Einstein was not a good student. As a child, he didn't start speaking until he was 4, reading until he was 7, and was thought to be mentally handicapped. He didn't have a good reputation as a student and almost dropped out. After college, he struggled to find employment and eventually got a job as a patent clerk. Great. Physicists thought his theories were crazy, but he remained patient and dedicated to his work, which led him to change the way scientists view space, time, gravity, and light. And number 12, there we go, that's 12, me. I may not be famous, but here's some proof that even the average person can learn from failure and grow into success. Within UPvisor, I've been at countless networking opportunities, whether online or in person. I've done hundreds of pitches, 30 seconds, 60 seconds, 2 minutes. I have done proposals to clients. I have tried to collaborate with other people. I have employed people. And in a lot of those instances, it was not a good fit. Or maybe I made a mistake, or I got anxious and I stuttered over my words, or I spoke too fast, like a lot of people I'm sure would attest to. And life is constantly on a treadmill, and that is the pace of my life and the pace at which I want to run the business. But I've had to realize that I need to take on feedback. I need to slow down. I need to take a moment to learn out of every single failure, out of every single missed opportunity, out of every conversation that maybe went south. I need to take that on and I need to process it and think through it. But it's not enough just to process it. I have to try and find new ways to do things better or do things differently or have different conversations, or maybe even avoid having some of those conversations altogether, right? By putting controls in place and making sure they don't happen. But failure is very prevalent in my life, and I'm sure in your life alike. And maybe it's not even failure based on someone else's definition. Maybe it's failure in terms of failing to meet your own expectations. And I've had that a lot. My business hasn't maybe moved as fast or grown as fast as I would have thought in that first year. But we take it on the chin and we move forward. And every time we pick up the pieces and we make new promises to ourselves and new commitments. And with a team that has surrounded me, I've been able to make great strides in my business and move it forward. So now that you know that we can actually have success as a result of our failures, I want to encourage you to reflect on your own failures and how they have helped to pave a way to success for you. Maybe it's your current success, or maybe you're living through a little bit of a space of failure at the moment. Think about how you can take the lessons that you're learning in that and pave the way for future success as well. So there's a little mindfulness course that we are promoting this month. So there's more information in the comments down below. And it's really important for us as business owners to just take a breath and think about where we are at. Be grateful for where you're at and actually process some of those difficult choices and difficult situations you're facing. So the next 2 weeks, we're going to have some interviews just unpacking this whole thing about what fear of failure looks like in our own lives and as a business owner. So make sure you're tuning in for that one. I'm going to be chatting to my people ops person, Tanya van der Water, and we're going to be interviewing each other, and you guys can just get a sense, even from a psychologist's point of view, how we can deal with this fear of failure. So until next week, I'll see you then. Bye.